Storytelling with data, that can mean so many things. Sometimes all it means is breaking a chart into pieces so it's easier for people to understand. So I want to show you an example of how I did this using a custom function in ggplot2. This was the original figure. This was something I made in a previous job. Don't worry about what's there, but basically you're looking at different colleges' improvement rates across 3 key performance indicators. And we showed this to the foundation that was funding our study, and they were like, this is good, but it's probably too much to show these funders at once in a presentation. They're gonna get overwhelmed. So we decided to break it up into pieces like this. Most colleges had rates to the right of 0, which means they improved. But some colleges declined, particularly in retention. They're in the middle. A handful met the 1 percentage point per year improvement goal. And these 3 colleges improved the most across indicators, so they were the ones we selected for the case study we were presenting about. So I could have just made one graph in ggplot and taken it into Adobe Illustrator or something and done all of this fading in and out. But the data were updating constantly, and the foundation also wanted to be able to use this in the future for different iterations of the data. So it seemed like a great chance to use a function in R to both reduce duplication in code and make this reproducible. So the function is really simple. It's called build chart. There are 3 arguments: a fill variable, a color variable, and an annotation color. And I just want to show you how I made this. So all I needed to do was create some signal variables to plug into this function. So whether the rate was positive, whether it was negative, whether the schools met their goal, and whether they were selected for the case study. So I just did this using a case 1 statement, and I made it a little more complicated because I wanted different colors for each facet, which is why there are kind of 4 pieces to it. But I did this for positive, negative, goal, and case study. And then color var, that second argument, is just for whether the color of the college names should be dark or light. So just an if-else statement for positive color, negative color, goal color, case color. And then I built out my function. This is just kind of a bare bones version of it. It doesn't include all the customization, but I just want to locate where all of this goes in the function. Fillvar gets embraced in those curly brackets in geom_call. So basically, what color are we filling these bars by? Colorvar gets placed inside geom_text as the color aesthetic. There are 2 geom_texts because there are text to the left of the bars and text to the right of the bars. And annotation color is the color of those brackets and the college names. And that just gets placed outside of the aesthetics. It's just going to be a color argument that goes into the function. So I'll show you how it runs. So this is for the positive sort of sequence. Positive variables are in there, and then I use transparent as the input for annotation color. So those brackets don't show up yet. They're there, you just can't see them. So I did that with negative as well, kept the annotation color transparent. And then I bring in my goal variables, bring in a dark gray for the annotation color, and I have the flexibility to add a vertical line on top at this point. And finally, I add in my case variables. I use a lighter gray for the annotation color, so it fades into the background. And the foundation loved this. They thought it was so cool, and it's a really simple way to sequence your stuff, and it's sort of like controlled interactivity where you are controlling the narrative of what you want people to notice and in what order. And I hope you might try this with some of your visualizations in a presentation setting. Thank you.